Louise, do you back this campaign? Do you think we should ban the word bossy?
I think bossy is a bad word in the fact that it tends to be used only against women. You don't get, Angela Merkel gets called bossy, Margaret Thatcher got called bossy, Hillary Clinton gets called bossy. You don't go, oh, President Putin, he's getting a bit bossy at the moment, do you? It's just not a word that's used against men, and it's patronising.
True, isn't it, Piers? Men are leaders and women are bossy.
Well, it's not true, because bossy is not a gender-specific word, and men can be called bossy as much as anyone else. I just find it very odd that, the actual sentiment behind this campaign, I think everyone would applaud, which is encouraging younger women to be more assertive and not to be put down by the use of the word bossy. So I think, the idea is good, but the idea of banning a word, what sort of message does that send out to younger women?
Let's go back to the idea of women are bossy, because Chloe Gale on Facebook says, in school we're taught differently. Men are taught to be the best, women are taught to be the best woman, hence the fall of the sisterhood. So, is she wrong?
Yes, she's wrong.
Girls are told off at school for being bossy. They get told off often by their parents, they get told off by teachers. And they did a big piece of research in the States where they had 5-year-old children, boys and girls, both equally confident at putting themselves forward for leadership. By the time they got to 11, the girls didn't want to because they were being called bossy. And if you don't have more women coming through and joining the ranks of the leaders, then you're not going to have them on FTSE 100
Yes,
and that's what Sheryl Sandberg said. And also another viewer, anonymous email, says, I remember my mother telling me that being bossy makes you an ugly girl. So there is evidence that is happening here.
Bossy is a perfectly legitimate word, which is very descriptive, and we don't need it to be banned. It does describe men and women who are overtly authoritarian or who enjoy telling people what to do just for the sake of it. We need to keep the word bossy because it's useful. But, I do agree we should perhaps try and educate women, younger women, in a different way so that this problem of their assertiveness being suddenly stopped, just before they reach their teens, that's a problem that needs to be addressed.
But why don't men in power get called bossy? I googled before I came here.
They get called bullies.
But women get called bullies as well.
Men get called
editors,
bossy.
so you both...
They don't.
You still are, Louise, but you both high-profile people in industry. Louise, do you ever get called bossy, do you think, as an editor of a big
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I get called other things as well.
Yes,
but can you be an assertive leader and not be bossy as a woman?
You can totally. But I think it's a sign of people not taking you seriously and being patronising towards a woman in power.
And Piers, I bet no one called you bossy when you were an editor.
No, they call me other words. There are much worse words, I think, that women should focus on, beginning with B, which I can't mention here. But bonkers is one of them, which I think the woman who started this, the chief executive officer of Facebook.
And Louise, we've had loads of emails on that front as well. Janet Hilton, Chloe, or Sam Sweeney saying, whatever next, surely there are things that warrant banning more than the word bossy. What a load of twaddle. Come on, get a life, ladies. I mean, there is discrimination out there, clearly. Is this the right place to start, banning the word bossy?
But it's great, isn't it? We're all talking about it now, and we're talking about how women are treated in the workplaces and how girls have to be encouraged. So that's that. I mean, when you look at that video, it's a little bit American-y and cringy. It's not my sort of thing. But
they got some great women on board, didn't they, Piers?
They've got some
Really
powerful women, and they've
women.
started a discussion, so it has been successful. Obviously, nobody's going to ban a word in the modern era. That's a very medieval sort of idea. So, it has worked to that extent.
Will it work, Louise? Will you be talking about it in your magazine?
We're already talking about it online, on the Cosmo website. So it is a big issue. But I think the important thing is women are often patronised in the workplace, and a different vocabulary is used to describe a woman in power than is used to describe a man. And that is because some people feel threatened by women or they don't take them seriously in the workplace.
Final word from Piers, so we're not being bossy?
Well, I think it is a bossy idea to try and ban a word in the first place. So there's a self-fulfilling prophecy here from this woman.